from different field of life. Is in fact it's really an opportunity, and I won't the opportunity given to me, I'll try as much as possible to use it in a judicious way. So before I started, I just want to appreciate the efforts of the my mentor, in persons of Dr. Shegun Omotayo Olorunyomi. And he has been a father to me. So in fact, giving me advice, different kind of things, for the sources of different things that I've been doing in cyber roots. And also to the chairman of the Ekiti-State chapters, Mr. Daramola, you are so a wonderful brother. I appreciate your efforts and what you have been doing in the chapters just to make it a stable one in the state. It's been a great one. And to the secretary, madam, in fact, you are amazing. Thank you very much, for the privilege.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
You are so amazing woman, supportive, God bless you, man. So let me share my slides, and so that we can quickly bring out something. Yeah, madam, please kindly disable the participant screen so that I can share my slide. Hello, ma'am. I'm not permitted to share my slide. Mrs. Abiola, okay, thank you.
Do that now.
Thank you. I said it. Just a wonderful woman. So I believe you can all see my slides really.
Yes, it's up now.
Yeah, thank you very much. Like I said, we'll be looking at cybersecurity, the ongoing effort to protect the cyberspace. Cybersecurity is not an easy task that every one of us think at it. It is, but by the efforts of every individual, because every individual have a responsibility to take, and part of the responsibility is for you to be part of people that will secure the cyberspace, in which we are doing presently. It's an ongoing effort, it's something that I need to continue every time, every minute, every second, because, those criminals are not sleeping, they are doing a wonderful job just for them to be able to get rid of different things or different resources from the organization. So I've been introduced before, my name is Dr. Sylvester Olatunji. I am a trainer, a researcher, and ethical, thank God, mommy has already introduced me, but, nothing will stand, but people still need to know much, So what do we do and who are we? I'm from Cybersecurity, and I'm from Cyber Roots International Limited. Majorly, we're into information and intelligence gathering, managed cybersecurity services, strategic trainings, and cybersecurity awareness. Every organization needs this particular stuff that it helps them to protect most of their digital assets, resources whatsoever that you are using in one way or the other. So that is what we do in our organization. So don't forget, if you have any seminars, you can invite us. Good and fine. So, yes, let's just start, in a base search, and I just will always say, one thing will always lead to another. And part of the thing that always lead to one another is the issues of cybercrime in the world today. Why is the cybercrime so constant in the world today? Is because one, new technology that are coming, new services are coming in which, it makes the job so easier for every individual, every organization. By the time you get to any organization, many of them are using computer, they are using network, many of them are into cloud computing and the rest, Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, and so on and so forth. Those people, they don't even care. Many of them don't care of what is going to happen to them. Why many still really care about what it happened. But basically, like I said, one thing we always list to another. What are we discussing? What is cybercrime? Cybercrime, you all believe that is a crime we committed online. Not only online, it's also a crime you also committed offline, because you can commit it offline, you can also commit it online. Basically because of the standard of where we are today, because of the porosity of what we are today. So that is what makes it very, very easy for people to commit that crime. And we have different components of cybercrime, and part of those components, because all these components, If these four components are not involved, there's no way you can commit a crime. And part of it is one, people, the user, we are using the system, that we are using the technology, that we are using what we call the different technology that is coming out. We are so difficult to manage. Technology can easily be managed, but human being, the user, are not easily to manage. Why? Because they are prone to error anytime. As far as technology is concerned, everything you embedded into information technology, that is what is going to give you. By the time you input your information, your data, the result is going to give you the information. But human being, you might correct human being today, and tomorrow, it might do different thing. That is why one of the best components that we need to look at is human, which is the user, people. The second component is what is our computer. That is the technology. If this technology does not involve in cybercrime, there's no way people will be able to commit a crime. Computer, your phones, your laptop, your iPhones, whatsoever, all this technology are what you use, the criminal use, to get access into information. So that is also part of it. Is very, very critical also to be part of the component of cybercrime. Likewise, network. Many times we believe that without network we cannot do anything. Network is everywhere. You MTN, Glo, you can easily subscribe to it, maybe like 1 hour or maybe like a megabyte, whatsoever megabyte you can easily. So, without this network, which is internet, there is no way. Sometimes you might not be able to carry out this crime. And the last is the process. Criminals use different process. They use different methodology. They use different concepts to get what they want from people, from organization. And part of it, we'll call it reconnaissance, which is what information gathering, and the like that we have different, which is almost 5 processes in which they have to undergo before they will be able to commit a crime. And those components, maybe later during another seminar, we'll be able to give you some of those challenges, some of those methods in which criminals use to get those things. So before a crime could occur, all these 4 components must be involved: people, computer, network, and processes. So they must be involved. So another thing is just we need to look at the history of the history of cybercrime. Basically, the first record cyber crime took place in the year, which is 1820, and the second one, which is that happened as the APRANET. That's the first spam that happens. It was that one happened in 1978. Virus, spam always, they send spam to different emails, and likewise, virus also was installed on Apple computer in 1982. So, and after that, it was gradually going to an extent that, a 16 years boy was arrested because of what? Because of cybercrime in UK. And that is how it comes to this stage that we are, in which we have now have a sophisticated crime all over the world. We can be talking about cyber war. We can be talking about different kind of war in the world today. So basically, all these are just the history and how it's involved in our country. So, and we also have different categories of cybercrime. Part of it, many of us, we think using our computer sometimes is we are doing the right thing. There are some times we are not doing the right thing. There are some times we are doing the right thing. But unfortunately, we have various categories of cybercrime. And part of it is computer as a target. When you are using a computer to target other computer to gain access or to gain a network access, you are committing a crime that is even beyond control. So we also use another one, which is a computer as a weapon. Many times, all this computer technology you are using, we also use it as a major weapon. Your phone can be a major weapon. Your laptop can be a major weapon. Your iPhone, your tablets can be a weapon to the computing. So likewise, you also have a computer is used as a necessary crime. Many of us, this one is also always so amazing to people. Each time I discuss about it, so computer is used as an accessory to a crime. Why? Because many of us we get information from somewhere and we save it in our hard disk, we save it in our phones, we save it in our laptops, some of those is another crime you are committing, which we might not know about it, but is a crime that is even beyond something that beyond our control. Sometimes you collected it illegally, without the consent of other people. Maybe you get to your friend's laptop, you copy it, and you didn't inform him that this is what you want to copy. So, where you save it is also in legal way. So that is why we look at this, these are the three major categories of cybercrime we have in the world. Can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, please check your DM, please. You can continue. Sorry for check your DM, please. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. So we look at the trend and the part of cybercrime. Majorly, we lost a lot of money to cybercrime in the world. Millions of cyber attacks take place every year in Africa, in all over the world. It's always take place. There's no point. There's no doubt about that, because it's a fact. It's a fact with figures. Banks and offices being targeted by hackers increasingly frequently. It's always increased every time. When you see some of your brothers, some of your sisters, some of these Yahoo guys that are in the world, that are in Africa today, what they target is bank. They target bank. Why? Because that is the only place in which they believe that they can get a particular thing, tangible things out of. Hardly will somebody come to my organization, or will somebody go to primary school and say, oh, he's looking for something to stay, because they believe there is no money in those areas. They only go to where there is money, where they'll be able to get something to themselves. That is it. And also in South Africa, Nigeria, and Kenya pay huge price of cybercrime in Africa. Why? Because they believe, especially Nigeria have the highest rate of crime in Africa, even in the world today. When you look at when you Google, you realize that Nigeria is one of the high type priority of cyber criminals. So Nigeria alone lost about 500 million per annum to cybercrime. South Africa 577 million, and Kenya 37 million. When you look at it, it's a little bit greater than the GDP of Africa, of Nigeria. So if you are losing this kind of money, we should believe that more are still coming, that people will be able to say that we won't be able to tolerate it. So everybody will begin to gear up so that they will be able to achieve something. They'll be able to see it as an opportunity for them to go into it. Also, there are nearly 4 million victims of cybercrime each year, and core consumer about 113 billion by micro. This is which is well said by DCU. All these figures show how widely exposed we are in Africa, even in the world today. So, and when you look at the general population, the general data of Africa or of the world today, we look at it that the numbers of internet users in the world is about, the world population is going to about 8-point-something billions individuals. So, and you are looking at the numbers of internet users in the world is about 3-point-something billion. All this data shows that, the more are still coming, the more are still coming with this figure, because Africa alone is becoming more a place where internet will penetrate into in the next 5 years. Internet penetration in the next 5 years to Africa will increase. And if this one is increasing, what is it telling us? It's telling us that more crime is coming ahead. So that is what it's telling us. That is the simple truth about it. So mere looking at the full shows of cybercrime today, in 2015 it was proposed that we are cybercrime will lost to about like 6 trillion. In 2021, but today what they are proposing now is about $10.5 trillion. If they are preparing that by 2025, that we are going to cybercrime will cost the world about 10.5 trillion. So we should know what that is the push up we'll be expecting. Why? Because every individual want to get rich at a high rate. The youth, they want to get rich. So if this thing continue, that means things will begin to work based on their what? Based on their the priorities. Okay, sorry, let me admit, I was asked to admit some people. Okay, I can't see anybody there. Okay, so we could see that there will be about 6 billion internet users by 2022, by 2025. That is, this is about going to like about 75% of the individual of projected populations in the world. So if that one is about going, we should know that the implications of cybercrime in the world, it's going to be more alarming than expected. So that means we should keep on preparing for the future ahead. So these are the futures that we could see as the cybercrime is going upward. So me looking at it, we look at the type of cybercrime, hacking has always been the major issues. Many of us, like I said the other time, you go to your friends' laptops, your bags, and you get there and you just copy something without informing you. You have already committed an hacking because, one, you are not given a permission to take that. You are not given an access. Maybe you know the access already. So knowing the access means that it doesn't give you the chance that you should be doing what is not really normal. So what is expecting of us is for us to get involved in it. So another one is identity theft. It's always common to our younger generation that is going on, that is coming presently. You see some of your brothers that are transferring money from one bank to the other. What do they need? Most especially in US, they'll say, oh, I want to get this in US, I want to do that in US. Why are they doing it? What they are doing is identity theft. Why? Because what they require is just the SSN. We call it state security number. And that is what they require. By the time they require, they require the email, the address, and some email address. These are what they require. This is identity theft. What are they using it for? By the time they log into that application, so they can use it, they can transfer money from that individual to another individual account, and they bring it to Nigeria. So this is identity theft. We also, another one is all malicious software. Also malicious software. Many programmers just develop an application. So by the time they develop the application, what they are looking for is just that, okay, I want to become this. I want this application to generate something for me. So they might cook it in a way that they want it to generate maybe the email, the serial numbers, the other things. So sorry, a minute. Let me quickly share. Okay, sorry. Okay, Dama. So sorry. So we also have what we call another type of crime is computer vandalism. Many a times when you see some of our leaders that they realize that something has happened in their offices, what they do is that they vandalize the whole system that is available in those areas. Why? Because they don't want their crime to be seen. So vandalization also is another crime we'll see in the world today. Cyber terrorism, software piracy. If I might ask each one of us here now, how many of us are committing this cyber software piracy? Many of us might say, oh, no, I don't commit it. I might ask again that how many of us are using a genuine antivirus? How many of us are using a genuine Microsoft Word, genuine software on your system? So many of us, we are only available with 150 naira software, that is what we are capable of doing. And in which what you are committing is software piracy. because you are part of those people that they allow the producer to have his own share from there. So if you are still doing this, so we have to be part of people that should stop it by the time we finish this training. So I believe so. So who are the criminals? You know, many times you ask, who are these criminals? Mostly the criminals as insider. You know, the Yoruba that we always say, why are they saying it? Because they know the impact of what internal threats in a society. Likewise, in cybercrime issues, in cybersecurity, internal threats has been a major issue. It's something that you cannot cure within a very twinkle of a time, because it's something that, you know, it becomes something complicated issues. You know, if you see some of those banks, you know, being hijacked, you should know that there must be an internal hand on it. So if there is no internal hand, there's no way they will be able to get into it. We also have cracker, we also have foreign intelligence, we have terrorism, we have hackers. So all these are criminals that we could be able to watch about. You know, they are criminals that we must watch over, because these are the set of people that give us a bad name in a society. So, and they have been using different terminology. They have been using different methods, and part of the method they are using is what malware. They use malware. We call it what? Vectors, methodological vectors. That malware. They also use social engineering, and part of social engineering they are using is phishing, phishing, text messaging. We have ransomware. You know, all this has contributed to the attack vectors, and that is the method mostly what they are using. And we must be conversant with all this information. We must be conversant with all this, because if we are not conversant, it will be very hard for us to be able to identify which one is what, which link is good, which link is not good, because it is very, very important. Like I said, as time goes on, we'll begin to review some of those things so that you'll be able to understand what this particular social engineering is all about. So we all also realize the importance, the consequence of this cybercrime in the world. Many times, you know, it's deal with the reputation. For example, you have built your reputation for many years, and something happened, maybe a ransomware happened to your network or to your businesses. You know, it has already damaged the reputation of your organization. You know, that reminds me of Yahoo. Yahoo was one of the best company when it came to issues of websites. You know, then, you know, but basically as they were growing, there was an issue with them, and that issue is what there is a breach, but they were unable to record that breach based on the fact that, you know, they think maybe it doesn't matter. But as time goes on, somebody wants to buy the Yahoo, and on the man began to do a lot of investigation, a lot of reconnaissance about, but he later got to realize that there was a breach in Yahoo, and that was what forfeited him not to buy it, because that he realized that they didn't tell him the truth of the matter, maybe they have the breach or not. That is number one thing. Secondly, there's the issues of trust become an issue within the organization. So this is the consequence is what is reputation. It damages the reputation of an organization, of an individual, of a corporate organization. So, you know, that is another one. The second one is a loss of property. You know, loss of property. By the time you, maybe for example, your money, your life, you know, with different kind of thing. Also, loss of revenue. This is one of the major issue will be, or the consequence of cybercrime. Loss of revenue. Like I said the other time, many organizations have lost a lot of money. And if an organization is losing money continually, you should know what is going to happen. If an individual is losing money, we know what is going to happen. So, for example, there was the man just collected his own money, which is statutory money, and the money is going to like billions of naira. and somebody just call him and say, oh, sir, you have this in your days, and we are like you to partner with you. If you can drop this also amount, and we'll give you the high share of it. He deposit the money, and at the end, when they call him, so sorry, you have been this, you have been that, and that was how the man died. So most of those consequences can lead to death, can lead to stroke, because you believe that is the only money you have, that is the only resources you have to take care of yourself, to take care of your family. So all these are the consequences of what? Of cybercrime. So the question we should ask ourselves now is, what is next? So if I ask the house, what do you think is the next thing for us? If I ask the house. So, hello? So,
we can hear you.
I think you need to inform the bank.
Ma?
I think you will need to inform the bank.
Okay, we need to inform the bank. Well, good. But majorly, we are not talking about bank for now, and we are not talking about individual for now. But after we have seen different methodology, we have seen different crime committed online, we have seen different data that we might lose, we've seen the revenue we lost every year, every annually. We will see that with the next thing, what is next for us is for us to go into security, which is cybercrime, which is cybersecurity. And that was what led us to today's program. And that was what led us to today's webinar. We call it what? Cybersecurity. Now, what is cybersecurity? Basically, every one of us should be aware that, protecting your devices, protecting your integrity, protecting your assets, protecting your information, protecting your sensitive data, your personal data, your organization data. This is the essence of cybersecurity. So that is the essence. By the time you involve cybersecurity into this, you'll begin to see that how you'll be able to safeguard your property. So that is why I asked that, what do you think is going to be the next? And the next thing is what is cybersecurity. So like I said, cybersecurity is ongoing efforts that protect individual, that protect network systems, all the data from authorized use by individual. All these are what we put it together to say cybersecurity is the right way, is the right channel for us to get involved into it. So many of us, we might look at this that what is the advantages of this cybersecurity? You might look at how does it going to help me? How does it going to help my organization? How does it go to help me as an individual to protect my information? One of the advantages. One, it defends us from critical attacks. It's always act as a self-defense. It acts as organizational defense, because basically it is what we desire. And desire, what I mean by what we desire is just everyone to say that their property is secured. Their information is secure, either on your phone or your laptop is secured. That is number one advantage why cybersecurity is important to us as an individual, as an organization. Another one is help us to browse freely on the net, on the web. By the time there's what we call SSL, so in which by the time you have it on your web, you'll be able to browse safely on your network, without anything. Many of the times, you might use your VPN, which is Visual Private Network. It also helps you to secure many of your information, because majorly during the COVID-19, it has always been used, what you are using, which is VPN. You can use it in your home, you can use it in your office. Why are you using it? Because for you to be more secure, so that you cannot be easily hijacked. Another one we could say also, your outgoing and your incoming messages or your data on your computer is secure, basically because you have everything in place. You have everything in place. And also it defends us from being hacked and virus insertion on our system. This is what comes, sometimes many of us, we don't open our firewall. We believe that firewall does not mean anything on our system. Why is this mentality coming up? Firewall, it can be a hardware firewall. It can also be a software. But the one on your system is always very critical for you to make sure that it is on. And make sure you set it up so that at least it will be able to secure you. Because if anything is coming, incoming something is coming, maybe for example, virus or malware is coming, you'll be able to give you alerts, which are like intrusion detection. You'll be able to help you to defend it. So these are the part of reason why, these are the part of the advantages of cybersecurity. So another advantage is application of cybersecurity is used in our PC need update every day. So you must well keep updating your system. It's also an effort that you'll be able to protect your information. So hope we are together, man, and sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much.
We are listening.
So, now, why do I need cybersecurity? You ask yourself, why do I need cybersecurity? Many a times you might ask yourself that way. Many a times you might ask your organization. Organization might ask you, being the pioneer, being the system administrator, being the network analysis, being the cybersecurity analysis, cybersecurity expert, cybersecurity consultant, they might ask you, why do I need cybersecurity? One, we need it for on a personal level. You know, the question is, why do you password your phone? Why are you using fingerprints on your phones? Why are you using it on your system? Why many of us are diverting to two-factor authentication? Why many of us are using our iris to open our laptops or to open our phone? So these are the examples of why you need cybersecurity. You know, one, it helps you to safeguard your personal identity identification. For example, your SSN, your email, your phone numbers, your details. You know, by the time you have these things in common, it will help you to protect your data. Your data, your computer device, both are online and offline. So sometimes you use your phone to browse, you use your laptop to browse. You know, it's always prone to what? To attack. So you need it for personal use, and you also need it for what? At the corporate level. You also need it at the corporate level. You know, it is everyone's responsibility, because if you're an organization and you are unable to protect the devices on your network, you're unable to defend your network, you're unable to defend your assets, you should know that your responsibility, you still have a lot of responsibility to take in charge. As a system administrator, they will ask you, if there is a breach, how did you come in? How did it happen? So that is why we also need it at the corporate level to protect our assets, our resources. So at the state level or at the national level also, we also need all this information. We need cybersecurity. You know, look at what is happening in Ukraine today. Ukraine and Russia. You see there is a lot of things going on. You know, they are not fighting physical battle again. What they are fighting now is cyber war. And the cyber war is a state-sponsored criminal activities. So, you know, it's become something that, you know, I don't want this country to achieve it. I don't want them to have network. I don't want them to have access to their bank information. All this, these are the reasons why most of our corporate organizations, our state level, our local government level, at the national level, these are the reasons why we need cybersecurity. So many a times you ask yourself, you know, why this? So by the time you're asking yourself such, you should be able to understand that, you know, you need it for personal use. You need it for corporate organization, for your corporate responsibility. You also need it for your what? For your state. So many of us that we are system administrator, many of us that we are system administrator, we are network administrator, we are analysts, we are data analysts. All your informations need to be protected at when due. So these are the reasons why you need cybersecurity. So, you know, why should cybersecurity be our priority? You ask yourself, you know, why? you know, it is, we all believe that, you know, I remember when we were still young, and I believe many of us, we also did the same thing, you know, as at that time. Thief has been a system for many years, and up to date, there's still thief. And as time goes on, it will continue. Still, we keep evolving.
Admit some people is on wait room.
Okay, sir. Thief will continue to evolve. Yes, which is true. Basically, why? I remember when I was young, our mommy always said Coke, and those Coke are, as at that time, you know, all these Coca-Cola Coke, as Sprite, Pepsi, and all those things. You know, the moment my mom, you know, by the moment they brought it home, you know, what we always do is that we just open it a little bit, so we drink it until we finish that drink. We will not stop. So mommy will not say, this Coke has evolved up, not knowing that we are the one. So meaning that, you know, cybercrime isn't going anywhere any longer. So it's a normal things now that, you know, that people commit online. Hardly will you tell a Yahoo boy to stop, because he cannot stop because of what is gaining from it, because of the financial aspect that is involved in it, because of the fame that's involved in it. Hardly will you ask him to stop, and he will stop. So cybercrime isn't going anywhere anymore. So it's continual thing that will keep seeing. So another reason why we have to prioritize cybersecurity is because for better information security. You know, many of our data need to be secured. So, and if you are not securing those data, if you are not securing those information, you believe that, you know the essence. And also, you know, government also need what we call cyber sovereignty. You know, many organizations come all the way from another country, come to Nigeria. You know, government does not know how they are using their data, how they are using their information of their citizens. So there must be something like what we call cyber sovereignty, which I believe government also must prioritize as well to better information security. We also look at another reason why we have to prioritize it is what? To satisfy clients and stakeholders. If your organization is being breached by cybercrime, there is no way, hardly will you see somebody that will support you. You know, people will be afraid to deal with you because they would look at it that that organization, I cannot involve in that organization. I cannot keep my property in that organization. I cannot deal with that organization. Why? Because, you know, your organization has been breached. So if breaches has happened in your organization, hardly will you see somebody that will deal with you. So you also need cybersecurity to be able to satisfy your client and to be able to satisfy your stakeholders. And part of your stakeholders are what? Your vendor, as your partners, and so on and so forth. So you must be able to look at this and way forward and see that, you know, you prioritize cybersecurity in our organization. So another reason is just our money, save money. You know, by the time you do a proper synergy, you do a proper policy, you put a proper policies on down, you'll be able to enjoy the fact that, you know, your money is in a safe place. Because if there is a breach in your company, your organization that you are working with, don't let me deceive you. Before you can recover those things, you must have spent millions of dollars, especially if it is ransomware. You know, as ransom, they will ask you to, as we see the physical ransom, we also always see electronic ransom. You know, I remember when one of our brothers was kidnapped, you know, we were asked to come and pay some amount of money, which is about going to like 3 or 5 million naira. So we're able to beg to like 3 million. That is, we'll pay the ransom, basically. Likewise, if there is a breach, if there is a ransomware on your network, you have to pay a lot of money. So it is better for you to prioritize cybersecurity than for you to lose your money, to lose your resources. So another reason why we have to prioritize it is what? Is to boost our employee confidence and stress, you know, to reduce stress of them. You know, they will have the confidence that, okay, where they are, what they are doing is a proper thing for them to do. You know, they will be like, oh, they won't fear anything again because they believe that they are secure and they are safe. So that is why sometimes for them to be safe, there are some things in which also we need to put in place for your for your staff, for your clients to be able to be secured online. And part of it is just you have to build their confidence. You have to train them in such a way that, you know, every time cybersecurity awareness should be the major priority to them. So many of us, we want to go into cybersecurity, but we believe that many of us will ask how do I go into it? How do I invest in this particular course or this particular topic? You know, people will begin to wonder. You know, I will give you an example. Somebody like me, you know, when I wanted to venture into it during my master program, you know, my supervisor, Professor Alishe, gave me a topic. He said I should go and do a research of fine-grained access control system. I say, fine-grained access control system. All I know is access control. You know, which one is fine-grained access control system? He said, you have to work it. You have to go and look for it. You are doing research. I said, okay, no problem, sir. So, you know, in view of that, you know, it gives me more strength. It gives me more power with the help of him to achieve that. You know, I look at it that, you know, this is just the beginning of something. I remember when I registered for my certified ethical hacking, you know, I was trained by the EC Council, and they came to Nigeria. That's the way I was trained. And then I was able to pay $1,200. As at that time, a dollar is about 500 something, maybe 540 or something like that. And I was able to pay about 540,000 naira here in Nigeria. My friend asked me, Oga, are you serious at all? What do you mean? Instead of you to use your money to build that, I said, don't worry. Don't worry. It's my career. I'm building it. I'm trying as much as possible to build it. So many of us also, we might have asked ourselves, you know, which career should I be able to build in this cybersecurity? You know, we have a lot of career you can build in this particular area of cybersecurity. And part of it is cybersecurity analyst. So you can become a cybersecurity analyst. And the essence of cybersecurity analyst, just for you to be able to monitor. You might be a SOC analyst, cybersecurity operating center analyst, analyst 1, analyst 2, and managers, and so on and so forth. So by the time you invest yourself in it, but before you be able to, you must also look at the prerequisite before you can say, oh, let me jump to this particular one. Let me jump to this particular area, because we have various areas in cybersecurity. So we also have what we call ethical hackers or penetration tester. So this is also very, very cybersecurity, which is ethical hacker or penetration tester. For example, somebody like me, I'm a penetration tester, and I'm also an ethical hacker. So why is this very, very important? Why do I like this? Because you know, sometimes every organization will build an application. They will call you, please, can you help us check this application we build? You are doing a penetration testing because you need to check the code. You need to check a lot of things in that application, in web whatsoever, in the network. So you must check every details about it. That is also another area in which you can venture into. We also have security consulting. So, you know, security consulting also is very, very important because you'll be able to advise expertise. You'll be able to give them advice. You'll be able to help them to implement some policies, some procedures, and in their organization, how they will be able to achieve a genuine and a reasonable ways of securing their data. So all these are another ways in which you can also go into. We also have security engineer. You know, these are the response to design and implementing to maintain organization security and infrastructure. So you'll be able to assist them in doing a lot in terms of infrastructure, in terms of designing, in terms of implementations, in terms of and so on and so forth. So you become a security engineer. Also incident response, you know, and that's why I made mentions of incident response. I made mentions of SOC, with cybersecurity operating system analyst. You can also become one. And incident response are involved in identifying. One, you respond and to cybersecurity incident. You know, if something has happened in one organization, they're expecting you as incident response to go there, check what happened to this, what happened to that, how does the incident happen. These are what they are expecting, and these are major of your role that people are expecting you to do. So we also look at another one is security architecture. So also, as we have it in network security architecture, we also have security architectures too. So, and majorly they design and they create a system and network. So by the time you are creating the network, you should be able to know that what you are doing is under cybersecurity. You're also securing you're also securing many of your assets. So we also look at security manager. Security manager oversee and coordinate the overall cybersecurity efforts in an organization. It's very, very important, you know. In fact, by the time you become this, you become the chief security officer, which is CISO, we call it CISO, you know, you'll be amazed that, you know, this is a very good area for you to hear. You know, time might not permit us because I will have even let you know some of those challenges that you might face as time goes on, because your time is also matter when it comes to issues of cybersecurity, because you have to create more time for it. You know, it's not something you learn within a very short period of time. It's a continual thing. It's a thing that you keep on learning every day, every minute, you know, because even as far as the hackers or the criminal is not sleeping, they are not expecting you as a cybersecurity analyst or as a cybersecurity consultant, penetrating testers, hackers, cybersecurity manager, for you also to sleep, because more research, you must keep on doing more research so that at least you'll be able to overcome the criminals. You know, that is also those answers. So those are those things. And also, like I said, you must be able to look at what are the prerequisites for me to be able to venture into cybersecurity. You know, many times you might jump the protocol, you might be opportune. What do I mean is the fact that, you know, you might be opportune in this form that if you go into cybersecurity, you might not need to be a network engineer, you might not need to be a web application, you might not need to be a programmer, you might not need to be a system architecture. All this I mentioned here, it is very imperative to have a solid foundation or understanding about all these things. For example, how operating system works. So you must understand the details of how it works. You must understand how networking works. You know, the TCP, the UDP, how it works. You must be able to identify many of those layers that we say, which is OCM layers. You must be able to identify all those threats, you know, where can the threats will occur in those areas. You must be able to identify those ones. So web, you must be conversant with also web application, you know, and likewise programming languages. You know, many times all these things does not really necessary, especially when it's issues of cybersecurity analysts. You know, they were not really but it is a prerequisite that you must have the foundation. You must have the foundation. You must also know about database and other related area. Because why do you need to know about database? Because one, there must be something like maybe a man in the middle attack. Maybe they want to attack your web, they want to attack your database using SQL injection. You must be able to know how to secure your system from SQL injections and so on and so forth. So that is why you need to have all these things. You know, it's just for you to equip you with strong analytical and a better skill, you know, that will be able to help you as time goes on, because it's very, 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 very important. Very, very important. So all these are what you need to know when it comes issues of cybersecurity, if you want to venture into it. So now, what are the safety tips? You are the administrator in your organizations. What are the safety things you need to put in place before you can be able to say, oh, my network is secure, my database is secure, my applications is secure, and so on and so forth. One of the things you must use the genuine antivirus. Many individuals, they don't use it. So I don't know, because that reminds me, when I got into my place of work, I realized what they were using as at that time was just 115 naira software. When I got to realize, you know, even when I'm coming as an individual, I was using a genuine antivirus, I was using a genuine Microsoft Word, you know, getting to a really big organization. So we have to be different. People must know us that this is an organization that have the compliance. So what I did was that I give a memo, I write a memo, and I give them the reason why they should have this a genuine one. Because one, it's going to secure them, it's going to help them to protect themselves from dangers or from attackers. So I make sure that they purchase all the antivirus, they purchase Microsoft 365, and that is what they will be using since our inceptions in that office. Likewise, in your organization, don't depend on this 115 naira antivirus. 115 naira Microsoft Word, is a danger to your system. There are some malware that is being installed on those system because it's a cracked one. So by the time it's got to your system, it allows your system to interpret with the owners of that particular developer. So it is good for us to use a genuine antivirus. Also, you must always insert firewall. Like I said the other time, your firewalls must be updated. Your inbound and outbound must be monitored by your firewall. So, and in conjunction with with antivirus. So, and make sure you always update those ones. And the other one is uninstall unnecessary applications on your system. Many of us, there are many applications on our phones, on our system that we don't use. Why do we keep them on our phones? Why do we keep them on our system? So those applications uninstall it because it always bring more risk to our system. So another one, you have to maintain your backup. I always advise people. There was a time during my BSc, I've already finished my project, type everything, do everything just for me to burn the project. Unfortunately, my friend came and said, "Oh, I want to use your laptop," and I gave my laptop. When I gave him my laptop, before he comes back, everything becomes white up where you use it. That is why since then, I always advise people, the moment you finish your job in the office, do a backup of your data. You can do it on your hard disk, you can do it on your flash drive. You can also do it on your phones if your phones have a large space. So make sure you always do a backup, and also check security settings of your system. So you must check the security setting if it is on or if it is off. So you must always check it. And again, stay anonymous, use a genderless. Many of us, if I begin to check money of your system now, if I say, "Oh, madam, I want to see how your system works," many of us will use our children's name for our laptops. We use our husband details on our laptops. We use our family details on our phone. Why? Because why is not advisable for you to use? Because as time goes on, hacker will always get those information. By the time they got, during the reconnaissance, which is what information gathering, by the time they got it, they got the information, they will keep on saving those informations. By the time they want to call you, maybe they want to do a kind of verification, they will call you and say they'll begin to tell you different things about you. You'll be amazed. How did they go to know about those information? Is the information they have gathered about you through your phone, through your laptops, through your social media platform, and so on and so forth. So you always choose a genderless name. So another one is never give your full details to a stranger. I mean stranger, not a friend. Stranger. That reminds me, last 2 weeks I was in my my brother's wedding, and somebody just came to me and said, "I want to make use of your phone." I said, "My phone? My phone, I can't give you my phone because you're a stranger to me. I don't know you." And he said, "Yes, I just want to." No, I said, "No, I can't give you my phone because my phone is personal and you have your own. So if you don't have, go and get a card and call." So likewise, we should not give our personal information to people, to stranger you don't know. It's only somebody you know. It's only somebody for example, somebody in SSC here. So because you know them, you trust them because you're in the same society, which I believe Nigerian Society of Computing is one of the best in Nigeria. So no doubt in that. And also, you must learn about internet privacy. So that will be maybe in a next webinar, we'll be discussing much more about internet privacy, in which I'm going to be available by the special grace of God to take you more of this one. Maybe as the prof has already said the other time, If it is monthly, if it is weekly, I'm always available. So you can easily call on me. I will do that. So now, so what can we do for you? You know, as an organization, what can we do for you? We can help you in different areas. If you need vulnerability analysis, we can do the vulnerability analysis for you in your organization, because, you know, that is the essence, that is the way criminal get into your information first. The criminal will get your vulnerability, and by the time you got the vulnerability, and that is where he will now be using it for details to get much more information about your system, about your network. We can able to do that for you. And also, we also do penetrating testing. So in your, if you develop any applications and you realize that in your organization, this is what you need, you can easily call on us, we'll do that. Also, we are into consulting too, and we are also into training. And also, don't forget, you know, every individual have a responsibility to do in your organization. That will give me to a conclusion. Nobody tell you it's going to be easy. Computer security is a continuous battle, and it will still continue. Like I said the other time, nobody is telling you that it's going to be easy at any point in time, by the time you venture into it. You know, even those guys that are doing into crime, they believe that it is not easy, but they are trying as much as possible to get what they want. So as a computer security gets tighter, hackers are getting smarter every day. They are getting smarter. As they are getting smarter, you must also keep learning, just for you to be able to beat them. So they are smarter than us, but you must be what? You must be try as much as possible to save the organization you are working with. Computer and information security continue to grow in importance. It will continue to grow every day. We see different things every day. We see different breaches every day. We see different attacks every day. You know, so you have to be believe that it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be an easy task for us as an administrator. So, because as time goes on, you begin to see a lot of criminals, in which is getting, as everybody, we all knew that. So neglecting security is the worst thing you can ever do in your organization if you neglect it. So it is better for you to be able to plan, how will I be able to safeguard my association? How will I be able to safeguard my environment, my personal information? So this has come to an extent that every individual, like I said, have the responsibility of what it's expected of him to do in organization. So I want to use this medium to thank everyone for listening to this webinar. Thank you very much. I'm grateful for the opportunity. Thank you.